All right. Got it? All right, there we go. Live is.
Daniel, did you send mine?
Oh, shoot. I clicked the wrong message. Hold on. Hold on. I got it. It doesn't order them the right way sometimes.
Yeah, the texting section is weird.
It is going all the way. Try 2. Yes, no?
Yes.
Perfect. See, that Zyrtec works so fast. I don't know why. It's not normally. I mean, that's how fast. Like, now I feel normal again. Yeah, and I can turn off one of the lights if you want.
It's the highlighting I put in there.
Oh, gotcha.
It's not anything that- I'll fix it while Jason talks. I think we should probably get started. What? Yeah, so welcome everybody. This is the last general board meeting of this year. Thank you all for coming. We need to get the meeting going, so I need a motion and a second to start the meeting. Okay, thank you very much. And we're going to start with the budget update. Get that out of the way. Take it away, Jason.
All right, treasury report. Oh my gosh, my eyes are going bad. For 4/8/24. 4/8/24, I don't even know what month we're in. This is awesome.
Or day. Yeah, that's the totally wrong day. It's 6. 5, 6? 5, 6.
Hold on. Some fool may or may not have printed the wrong one. Hold on a second.
What else do Jason?
You want my copy to read?
What is today's date?
5, 6.
This is my way of saying somebody really else needs to be treasurer.
Nobody else? Nobody else? Nope. Don't.
All right, well, I'll have to update some dates because my dates are not dated right, but beginning bank balance, $36,734. Deposits of $11,998, withdrawals of $21,058. Ending bank balance, $27,674. Outstanding deposits of $741. Outstanding withdrawals of $3,734. Cash box balance of $135.75. Our total cash balance as of 4/30/24 of $24,816. You notice on this one, the PayPal and the spring trip were removed. PayPal funds have been brought back into the actual bank. And of course, the spring trip is sprung. As of last night, we spent $87,571 of our $105,887 budget, leaving us with $18,316, or 17.46% remaining on budget. We're currently within our budget expense in all areas with the following exceptions. Color guard budget is over by $63.37. Competitions budget is over by $557.75. When it comes to dues, marching band dues, we received $39,739 of the $54,073 goal, leaving us with $14,335 to collect, which is about 26.51%. On the concert jazz band dues, we received $645 out of the $303,245 goal, leaving us with $2,599 or 80.11% to collect. Fundraising, ready?
No.
Our gross revenue for fundraising is currently at $70,587. Our expenses are at $26,552, leaving us with a net profit of $44,035. To date, we have raised 101.69% of our $43,302 goal. Net profit. Well done fundraising and everybody that assisted with that. Any questions or concerns on the budget other than I don't know what date it is?
I updated the date.
I don't have a question, it's not a problem that you've done or anything, but just, is there any way that we can get people to pay their dues?
I was thinking the same thing.
It's just that my last effort is always I can offer as an assignment a signature page that they get taken home and they have to sign, just bringing awareness to it. Obviously, we can't make grades for monies, but I can say that having a signature of recognition of outstanding fees is acceptable. I will for next year. I've already made the decision that the concert band and jazz band fees for those who are individually in those will be done through the school, through Synergy itself. And so the boosters will only be, because those are the people that we don't see quite as often and maybe just don't have the contact. And so those fees will run through that. So that'll be one small change that I make. Other than that, we just keep talking to people and I keep reminding them. Unless there are other ideas, I wouldn't.
Is that a normal thing that you see?
It hasn't been the past 2 years. I think we had immense success over the past two getting it fixed. And we were doing quite well this year, just up until this last quarter. I think we were right on pace until about the last month and a half, last 2 months.
So we can still push and get it down to where we've historically had it. Last year we had a great year for dues.
Mhm.
If it, year over year, if it becomes a problem, I think, we might need to talk about doing something different. I don't know. I think technically we cannot keep, children in the band from participating in certain scholastic activities, but there may be some extra things where if you don't pay your dues, you can't do it. But I don't know what that would be, or if it's time warranted to pull out that stick instead of just the carrot of being part of a good program.
Mhm.
And we are emailing out statements in so much as our emails are correct each month, so.
We did have one parent reach out who was having some hardship that we ended up using some of the scholarship money for that one family. So we are there to help anybody who is having trouble with their dues, if we can. So just like people to be communicative, if all possible.
I personally wouldn't want to ever punish a kid for their parents not paying, but I also know that it's just fairness,
Yeah.
Mhm.
If I had to scavenge, and everybody needs to scavenge.
Yeah, it's creating an understanding within the entire community that there are multiple options here for band. There's jazz band, concert band, and our marching band being marching band, which really is marching band, right? The marching band portion eats a large portion of the budget, and it's having that communication with students as they come in or before they come into the program. And so and so people who are willing and good and honest people who are willing to make that decision on their own if they can or can't is how we handle that.
I think we had some success in the last couple of years because we cut the dues significantly that first year after COVID. Remember, it was like
Oh, yeah.
1,300 or something the year before, well, the last functioning year.
Correct.
And it came down to like 800, and I think that actually helped the numbers and people paying dues for a couple of years. And I don't know if everyone's even was aware of that that's in here, but there was some honest effort to bring dues down.
Yep, and it's
Smaller than the total amount.
and it is always my goal. Every single year, they should be coming down. I budget and I skim and I do things to make it happen.
Well, as the band grows, we'll continue to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right now. Moving on to the
So we need a motion to.
motion to
approve the budget report, I guess.
Motion to approve the budget report. Okay, will do. Will do. Alright,
We give you second and flavor?
Yeah,
Yes.
I got all those.
Okay, that was very quick flavor.
It was like a quiet, like half.
so the two things we have to do today, one is we have to pass or approve a new set of bylaws, and then the second thing we have to do is we have to vote in a new board. And that's very exciting.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think we should introduce the freshman parents that are gonna be coming in.
Oh, yes.
They're-
Excellent. I did see a couple new faces.
Just so they kinda know what we're doing and who's here.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming. This is the first time we've had freshman parents at the booster meeting for the coming year. So it's the first time we've thought to invite them and they've shown up. So thank you
So
for
do we
coming.
need to get names so we can nominate them right away?
Hopefully you got my email. You don't have to be volunteer for positions unless you're super gung ho about it, but we're just happy to have you here. So thank you. Do you want to introduce yourselves real quick?
I'm Christy Appleloy, my son plays the French horn, so.
Welcome.
I'm Denise O'Leary, and my son's a percussionist.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, so yeah, bylaws. We have to update the bylaws. We haven't done this in a while. We were stuck with the same bylaws 3 years ago when we kind of recovered from COVID, and we haven't touched them since. And we've been doing stuff sort of not according to bylaws, and we also wanted to make some specific changes. So hopefully everybody got the document I sent out that describes the changes. I'm going to briefly go over them. And I won't drill into any of the details unless somebody has a question, okay? Because I'm gonna assume the 2-week notice we gave according to the rules is enough. But essentially, the updates are, the one kind of maybe major update was that we wanted to have a contingency for electing executive board positions. There was a 2-year term limit in the old bylaws. We wanted to add an optional 3rd year if no one else runs for those positions, just so we'd never have a situation where the executive board gets hamstrung. So that's the first change. Changes to duties of president to reflect current practice. Just, for example, interactions with the treasurer, and creating ad hoc committees like our fundraising committees, like for the Jazz Dinner Dance and for the all the various fundraisers. Changes to the duties of the vice president include kind of an explicit notion that the vice president is kind of going to be a president in waiting, is the intent of that position, in addition to just them assisting the president. This is other big change we had in the bylaws, the addition of a new role, not on the executive board, but on the regular board, called a co-treasurer, because the treasurer job being a slightly more difficult position, having an extra person there to help keep track of the budget and all the finances, and empowering the co-treasurer, which is part of some other changes, to, for example, collect money and sign checks and deposit them at the bank. So it's not one person having to do all that. Ends up being a very stressful job. We had a listing in the bylaws of various roles, some of which are kind of outdated, some of which weren't there despite the fact that they were crucial. So a quick listing of those is we previously had a color guard representative role, which I guess maybe back in the day of the band, the color guard was a lot more separate than they were. So that didn't make sense to have that. Color guard is fully part of the band. They don't need their own representative on the board. We changed the roles and the rule with the duties of the historian is probably not fully correctly. So we might have an amendment to this in the future to split the historian role into someone who is like a historian and a social media coordinator. But for now, we just want to clarify those roles, and they may be split out in a future amendment. Clarification of the webmaster role to reflect current practice, just based off how we run the website now. This is a big one, adding the chaperone chair role, which is something we've had for the past 3 years and didn't realize wasn't on the bylaws. Very important role. And then listing what the duties of the chaperone role is, adding the props chair role, wasn't there before. Empowering the co-treasurer to sign checks. Modernizing the approval limits for small purchases. So this one, just to make sure that everybody's comfortable with. Previously, the president or treasurer combined could approve small purchases of less than $250, but purchases between $215,000 would be approved by a majority vote of the board. Whereas now, that limit has been increased. We want to increase that to 500 by keeping the upper limit of 1,000 the same, requiring a vote of the board for large purchases. We added a section, credit cards were something that didn't exist before. Now we have credit cards. We wanted to explicitly put in the bylaws how they were to be managed. And so will be secured by the treasurer and issued executive board, hospitality chair, and pit crew chair. Since those are the people who need to spend money. And that's it. Those are the major changes. There were a lot of other small changes. So if you got a copy of the actual bylaws and took a magnifying glass, there were a lot of grammatical errors that were fixed and those types of things. But for the most part, those were the substantial set of changes. Does anybody have
Thank
any?
you to Carla for doing
Yes.
a lot of that.
Yes, thank you. So, does anybody have any questions or concerns with those proposed changes? Although it's already been said, we are going to go back and revisit the story and obviously. I know there's things that aren't perfect. We can make mid-year changes to the bylaw.
Well, and the other thing that you had talked about was Mr. Lee wants the freshman liaison role, but there needs to be
Yes.
a meeting about that first to
Yeah.
really get that clarified and that can happen.
There's, one role that we might vote on today that won't have an official capacity under the bylaws until we make that additional change to the bylaws in a future, probably maybe the first board meeting of the next board. So if nobody has any questions, and if you had time to review it, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve new set of bylaws.
I move to approve the new set of bylaws.
In a second. Now, all in favor of approving the new bylaws?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Excellent, thank you so much. Can turn this off now. Why so loud?
No, we'll leave it up for just a.
We'll leave it up?
Yes, please. I'm just gonna pull up the form. So
Great.
I'm gonna kind of go in here and not readers. So, we were gonna move on to the general election kind of thing. And the reason why I was gonna talk is because I don't have any role in this next year. But.
That'd be your dance.
Yeah, I did dance earlier, so for a little. Alumni group that doesn't exist.
You could be the president of that.
Okay, go back to the, I am not nominated for anything, I'm not accepting any nominations for anything. But we are gonna do this kind of the night in two portions. We're gonna do the general, or the executive, and then we will vote on those, and then if we wanna do modifications, we'll do, we can add and talk about the committees after that. So we're gonna start with the executives, and I have a form that has been put together that is just the people that we received via the Google form that went out. So these are the nominations that we've received. Not everybody on here has officially accepted the nomination. So this is the discussion portion of the evening. So as we go through, if you have any questions on what the position is, if your name is up here and you do not want to accept the nomination, we can remove it. If your name is not up here and you want to add it, we can definitely add it. What's exciting this year is we actually have maybe the potential to actually have an election versus just and you now have the position, which is we've never happened before, right? Like we could actually vote on things, so the response was great. We actually have a fair number of people. So for president, we have Janice Bustos or Amanda Montoya. Those are the two that were nominated, and I believe you both have accepted the nomination. Is that correct? That's correct. Okay. I will give you the floor if you want to say a statement, and if you don't want to say a statement, that is okay, but is there anything you would like to say?
Should there be a boxing match or something?
This is all friendly. No. This is all
Let-
friendly. It's a good topic to have.
Leslie, you're on fire.
Yeah.
Senioritis over here.
That's what it is.
So, in lieu, do you want to say anything? If you don't want to say anything, then I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of the comments that came in with the nomination.
I do wanna say one
Okay.
thing. So, I know being VP before and like being in committees, like a lot of committees in the past years, I've kind of been like thinned out, you know, having my kids and this and that with work. So I'm working on retirement, which means my workload is a lot less. My kids are in school. I have a good co-parent relationship now where I don't have my kids on the weekend. So I myself have more time. The hats that I had before will be taken off. So like Angelique, you now have the car show. Those that got the jazz, that'll stay there in senior committee and that whole nine. So like a lot of my hats that I had this past year and previous years are off. So my time would be dedicated to just being the president, and that is that.
Okay. Thank you. Any words from Dennis?
Don't have to.
You do absolutely do not have to say something unless you want to.
I just want to first thank you all for serving in your positions and doing such a great job of setting up the band program and our students and their success, because that is really where it's come from. Just to introduce myself, I'm Janice Bustos. I've served as pageant of bands representative, hospitality lead, and lead for the Jazz Dinner Dance Committee. I've helped in a lot of other areas, whether it be props or pit crew or just always involved. And I just accepted nomination because I believe in the program and I want to see it grow and I want to see it thrive even past my year next year. So that's my goal.
Both of you are senior parents, right?
Yes.
So they'll be trying to get that strong senior year last year. Awesome.
And were there, oh, just one, sorry, I was gonna say if there were any more nominations, of course.
Yeah,
So
anybody
those
else?
are the two that we have, that we don't have to stop there. We can just keep filling up this. There's a little button here that it says I can add anyone. I am, I'm not gonna do it very often. Anyone else? Do we have someone monitoring online?
Yep, I'm watching, nothing,
Okay.
I haven't seen anything coming for president.
So I'll pause for a second just to see if anyone else wants to nominate themselves or somebody else before moving on to vice president.
Are you gonna read the things?
I don't have to, I wasn't gonna read all of them, and I was gonna do it in lieu of, I was gonna let the people that nominated others stay anonymous, because I'm not sure that everyone wants to share all their comments. But we did have some very positive comments that came in with the different nominations. We had Amanda, she's amazing. She's done a great job over the last couple of years, so kind of to echo. We had Janice, she has the ability to lead and delegate effectively and efficiently while staying in budget, which some of us care about more than others probably on the. So there was some very, very positive things, and unfortunately I don't have my readers, so I'm not gonna read every word down here.
You need to read that.
No, but it was very reassuring. It was nice to see all the positive comments come in. And so there was many people that turned in. We had more nominations for all the positions this year than we have in the past. It was heartwarming for
That's
those of us
great,
that are
yeah.
senior parents like
Exciting.
you guys. So thank you. So with that, we're gonna move on to vice president. So we will vote on all of these at the end of the executive board as a group. So with vice president, we have Karen, who I believe has accepted the position.
Accepted the nomination.
The nomination, sorry. The nomination. And Tracy, I don't see him in the room, and I don't know if he is online.
He's not, I've actually been texting him, and he said he would love to accept it, but he's out of town a lot.
Okay.
So,
And isn't his son a junior?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I thought the idea for this position was for it to be a young co-parent so that they could learn from the president and then grow into the.
That would be it. That's the new intended role. is that it's gonna be a president in waiting.
Yeah.
So that is, I would say, is the idea, but it's not a mandate.
It's not a
Right.
Correct.
requirement, right?
It's not a requirement. Tracy, if you all know Tracy, he was president for 2 or 3 years before COVID, so he was pre-Nicole.
Yeah.
Or, depending on how long you've been here, you may or may not know some of the past presidents.
So Tracy said he did accept the position, or the nomination?
Well, here it is.
He said he
I-
would like to, but he travels a lot.
Yeah,
Okay, I
He's
just
not
didn't want to
he's not
quote word,
accepting the
so
nomination.
he's not accepting the nomination.
not accepting, okay. That's Tracy Overbay, for those of you who might be confused with names at the moment.
Oh,
We have Tracy Bogue and Tracy Overbay.
Yeah. I just figured it was on the screen and I was saying he. But,
Just-
fair. Fair. Okay, so before we move past vice president, is there any other nominations that we should consider? Anyone else have?
Especially, again, if you're a freshman, current freshman or current sophomore parent who thinks they might want to take over someday. That's the, fair.
Okay. With that, then we are gonna move on
So
to.
should we talk about Karen, about how wonderful she is?
We've been talking about Karen for a
I
while.
paused, sorry.
It's just 20 years, so that's fine.
Do you have?
Yes, Karen.
I've been hiding, to be honest with you now. I actually was the PTA president for way past the amount of time I should have been because we ran into a situation where nobody wanted to take over. So, I did PTA down in Tierra as the president for 4 years. That's a long time to be president. So I kind of went into hiding after that. And my kiddo is a flute player, Brooke. She's a sophomore, so she'll be a junior next year. So I just wanted to help, and initially when we were seeing, it was kind of scary. Everybody had fulfilled their requirements of 2 years and it was like the board was vacating and it got, a little worrisome. And I just figured that it's about time I step up and pay my
Thank you.
dues to helping out the band.
Thank you
and,
so much.
And you guys have done amazing. I've sat back and just been like, what? You don't need any help. So I'm willing to do whatever needs to be done to move the band forward, as Jen said. And, like I said, unfortunately, my kiddo is only here 2 more years, but I'm willing to contribute as much as I can.
Yeah, that's
for the
plenty.
next 2.
That'll add, if we keep this up, that'll keep the continuity, right? So,
Absolutely.
So, I'm squatting so I can see. So a couple positive comments about Karen. Karen has quite a bit of experience working with organizations and brings a lot to the table. She will make sure everything that needs to be done for the betterment of the band will get done. It should be a great,
I'll track you down.
yeah, addition to the board. But there's several, but one of the positive comments there. All right, so last call for vice president nominations. Anyone, yeah,
None have come up yet.
thank you.
I
Okay,
just make that comment. If you're online, put it in the chat if you've got somebody.
all right, so we're gonna move on to treasurer. We have 2 nominations. So Elizabeth, you've accepted the nomination, yes? Okay, and Nasser, have you accepted the nomination?
yep.
Okay, do either of you have any comments that you would like to share with the group?
You want to go first? Go ahead.
I've been involved in other organizations for the professional and PTA. I've done a treasurer role in both of those. I've been a VP. I work well with Janice. She's my former sidekick. So, and
Awesome.
I really want to support this program.
Yeah, I'll echo. I think Elizabeth would be great in this role. I think this role is probably more suited for me than president. But I have been on the executive board for the past 3 years. And I'm good at things like spreadsheets and budgets. And I've been doing things like improving our digital presence, like the Square Store, and wrangling charms for the past couple of years. So I'm familiar with the systems and stuff like that. So, but if this doesn't go through for me, I'm more happy to also fulfill the currently unnominated chair co-treasurer role, just so that we have that combination. Who's number 1 and number 2 won't matter as much to me. And just more than happy to serve these kiddos, continue to push forward the success of this program. So.
Do we have any other nominations for treasurer?
Oh, I can't. I've been in two.
So I should say that, so anyone that has been, we have, our existing board members did get nominated, several of them for their current positions, but if they'd already served the 2 years, I did not include them on the ballot.
Because on the new bylaws.
The bylaws says if no one else is nominated, and we did have people that were nominated, so I didn't include them, but that did not mean that the band didn't want you to. So you were not, they were all nominated. So Bushman cannot be treasurer, or we have some people. He could be co-treasurer. One of you guys didn't want to do it, but.
I'm sure he's gonna be around and answering
He's
questions.
done several roles.
Yeah.
So any other nominations for treasurer? Okay. So with that, we have one lonely nomination for secretary currently.
Oh,
Carla, would you like to say anything to the?
Well, in case nobody's noticed, I love to write. Yeah. So I have actually written 2 sets of bylaws, totally from scratch, the first set took an entire year. Because I was told, no, you can't fundraise because you're not a private organization. I was like, well, what does that take, you need bylaws? So I went and researched, figured it out, because I wanted to be able to fundraise for our non-listed people in the program that I was in. And so I was like, I'm one of those people where if you tell me no, I want to find a way to do it. And be able to benefit, the whole group. That's what I'm all about. And I love to write, and I love to follow bylaws.
And you're a wonderful communicator, which we're kind of expanding the secretary role to help with communication. And I get more pictures of my kid from you than I take myself, which is awesome.
And I think what's really interesting about what you did this year was notice and point out all the places where we failed to communicate because we all remembered how we used to do it. Because like, you coming as a freshman parent, you're like, well, when was this communicated? We're like, oh shoot, we forgot to say something. So.
Well, and because you guys all know, like the senior parents know, and my kid has not learned to.
Okay. Any other nominations for secretary? Anything online?
Nothing here.
Okay, so with that then, I am going to propose that we vote on these 5 positions. 4 positions. 4, I can count. I'm an accountant. On these 4 positions, we'll do it 2 different ways. I have a link that will basically send out this Google form to those that are online. They should be able to see it via Charms, which I need one of you guys to help link it up to go out through Charms. Here, we'll leave it open. What time is it? It is 7:36. So I would like to close it by 7:45. Hopefully by on there.
And you opened it already on this computer, right?
I did. You just need to remove Tracy
Okay.
if it didn't update already. And then we will also, and Mr. B, will you print out things so that people don't have to raise their hand and vote between their friends, because we all love everybody in here.
Yeah.
We're gonna pass out paper ballots for those that are in the room. And then myself and a couple other of us dancing senior parents are gonna collect those, and we will count them, and we will come back and tell you who won. How about that? Okay, so, so Mr. B will print out, I don't know how many we need.
Did you want to do all in person on paper? Okay.
I do. I'd rather not make them say whether they want to vote in the open or not. Huh?
Could we all do it online?
You can do it online if you want to do it online.
That way you save paper.
Why don't you just
Assuming you get the Charms link.
raise your hand if you want a paper ballot?
Yeah.
How about that?
It depends on if the link will come through.
It's really dependent on the link, which is.
Well, if you don't get the default to paper. No hanging chads though.
Wouldn't it be nice if all electors were like, oh yeah, I'd like that person. Oh, I'd like them too. Like instead of like our normal elections, like Well, I hate that guy more than I hate that guy.
So while you guys are all chatting, we do have, I don't know if you saw the Charms email that went out, there are 3 positions that have no nominations. So maybe think about whether you or you know somebody who might be interested in these. I mean, we can add nominations to any of them, but the general board, we have, oh, it's not touchscreen. There is one, I'm not sure fundraising might be open. We'll see, yeah. I figured, so fundraising, chaperone, props, which is just a, hurt my heart, guys. Somebody's gotta pick that sucker up. And freshman liaison. All currently do not have any nominations, so if you think you might need more information on any of those, just kind of while we're waiting for.
Somebody on the email for props, did they deny it?
Oh, Mary, sorry, Mary hasn't accepted yet, and I don't see her here right now. So we will not elect in anyone who doesn't accept the nomination.
This year.
So the steps are, you get to say, I would be willing or I will not.
It's nice this year that it is who would like to be or who would nominate versus you will be this,
Oh.
right?
Yeah, and right now, we don't have a co-treasurer nomination, but that sounds like it might change, which would be wonderful.
and one will be the other. I have a paper copy for anybody who is not doing it by.
Yeah, let me grab some paper cut. I think you have several that want to be paper copies.
Yeah, mine open.
Can we get some Jeopardy music while we vote?
Oh, yeah.
We have band kids, they can't play.
There was a girl from.
I think we're gonna.
Yeah.
We have.
She was in the news.
I'm thinking like 15.
Is she?
Okay. He's printing some.
Were you
Yes. So there's always that.
Because I'm gonna leave. So the car show alone is going to take 6 months.
It will.
It will.
Yeah, he's getting him out of there, so just give me just a second.
I just wanted to know time.
She's been strategic for the last 3 years.
I keep myself out of it, so that'll be something that Arlene can answer. Arlene? Here
I will
are
look
paper
at-
copies.
I can look at responses here.
Here are paper copies right here.
So paper copies, you're gonna have to use your own writing utensil.
There's a bag in front of you if you don't have.
If you need a pen,
Did we all see a paper copy?
I don't know if they work. Yeah.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you,
Will you
Jeopardy
test to
sound.
see if someone online has got?
No, they were not sent the links. Links were sent specifically to chaperones and parents.
We trust people aren't gonna be like stuffing ballot boxes
So
and
can
stuff
I,
like that.
can I ask a procedural, can our incoming parents vote?
Yes, absolutely.
Please vote.
Yes,
Yeah.
And you could be nominated too.
I guess it's fair.
Yeah, if your kid's enrolled, you're part of the program. Yeah.
It takes very little to be, to find out.
Did you need another sheet or? There you go. Thank you.
This is what? Yeah, only required for the online form, if you, the advanced of the paper, you won't have to.
Well, then I needed a paper.
Well, I mean, yeah, unless you have 7 papers over there.
Arlene,
Do it online.
it's only gonna be Arlene counting it, so.
Oh, no, it's gonna be me and Angie and Leslie if
Okay.
because we are all senior parents.
She's not gonna rat you out.
Yeah.
She knows you voted for yourself.
All right, we're gonna give it another 2 minutes though, because I said till 45,
Yeah.
at least
Okay.
for the people online.
Are we going to use me as an intermission for you to count?
Yes.
Cool.
Exactly what it's gonna do.
This is nice. Yeah.
All right.
Someone from Albuquerque was recently on it, right?
Really?
Or is it Wheel of Fortune? Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. Did you see that? There was in Albuquerque, I guess she worked at Intel, she was on the Live Jeopardy. There's several rounds for it, which I found out. So for any of those shows, they have to do interviews and stuff, and they have to like actually make a cut. It's not a random selection. Like there's a whole.
And then people that try to test him, either you make it or you don't, but they never tell you what you register as a neighborhood.
Oh, interesting.
But okay. I won't be able to verify that somebody not voted by successful, because somebody could have voted by paper and but if we are within a vote, we will figure out something.
Hey Arlene, unless you're holding something, just to add it ahead of time, we can add a self-nomination for fundraising chair by Danica Phillips, and so we'll mention that here in a minute.
Excellent. I would recommend that.
Is
Waiting, guys, I would
Elijah
like
Phillips
to
freshman
say
paramount?
heartfelt thank you to our current board, our outgoing executive board. You guys, they have done so much work. When we came back after COVID and we were just Band-Aiding, like nobody knew what to do, we did our very best to try and just keep it going. And what we did that year compared to where we are now,
No comparison.
it is not comparison. Like, I was the treasurer, and that was a joke. This guy over here took treasurer, and it's the way it's supposed to be. So I'm so grateful for him, and grateful for Nasser,
I'll link it.
Amanda,
For all of
and
you.
all of your hands and all your things that you do, and all the people who have done secretary. Thank you. We appreciate you guys very much.
Thank you, Leslie. Any other paper ballots? All right, then can I get my senior parents to come in with me we're going to Mr. B's office?
And we will take it, hand it over to Mr. V to do a director's update while they do that, and then.
Oh, well, I
hopefully-
only need 2, so the ones that I grabbed. Or you guys can come and just chill.
Hopefully we'll have enough time to quickly do the general board voting after that. But the most important thing is that those 4 executive board positions will be filled means that we can continue to exist as an organization and can do things like set a budget ahead of time. We really want to do, we were just talking earlier, that outgoing board is going to sit with the incoming board in June. That's why we won't have a general meeting, so that we can craft a budget and have it ready to be voted on in July ahead of summer camp, band camp, so that we can do things like have food and water and equipment and fun for the kids at the beginning of band camp without it coming out of parents' pockets, be incorporated into the plan for the year. So, thank you. That's the way it's going to go forward. But I'll hand it over to Mr. V.
Hello. So end of year stuff, right? I think now's the time that we just, it's a reflection time of year for senior parents, and a reflection time of year as we're always trying to improve the way that we interact and the way that the booster organization goes and how our students are. So many successful things, right? So since our last meeting, we went through solo contests. We had an amazing prelims, semifinals, and finals with some just fantastic performances. The judges just so impressed, and they said it was, one of them has been here in a previous year in a different capacity and said it was the hardest one to judge. And just that it reflects so well on, and that's what we mean by it, is to have these students feel like they get to showcase what they're excellent at. And so they wanted me to make sure that I said as many times as I could how impressed and how proud they were of those 7 finalists that they got to see. So congratulations to those people. It was really wonderful. Going on, we had a successful, I don't believe we've spoken since, but we had a wonderfully successful band trip up to Durango. That was a great time, had a fun time sharing experiences with those students and those students sharing experiences with each other. Had a nice, on the last day, we took like an hour walk into Durango and we walked along the river and made jokes, and they're just walking and found some snow, and I think I need to make sure it gets into the slideshow. They're playing on the playground equipment right outside the city. And we found a bunch of instruments, like the metallophones and stuff, and so that was super cute and fun, and it was a nice foray out of town for fun for once. Amazing performance at the state band contest, something I'm so proud of, and was so emotional with the students on stage, and got to perform for what an amazing audience. I mean, I think that's probably some of the best feeling applause that I think myself and the students have received. So that was a fantastic, fantastic time. What else? So looking forward, so we have this meeting which starts to think about future. Now that people sometimes know, right? We have this excitement building towards next year. Even with some of the seniors, they're like, we want to know what they're going to do. When are they performing? I want to get ahead on if there's those returning people on having an alumni night. We always kind of sort of have one because I kind of sort of send some messages out and they kind of sort of show up. And let's pick a night and let's get everybody in there. This past year, I think we had people as old as 5 or 6 years back graduated, right? So 2018, 2017 graduates. And we want to build that and build that and build that. So start thinking about that. It's really exciting. Marching show's been definitely decided. So we have music. We have music already. One of our alumni is creating a reveal video to have some fun with that. It looks beautiful. We have this is our most advanced team that we put together, and because we have these budgets that are put far enough ahead, we're able to get the best. Early enough, right? These people were hired way back in January, and they've been doing work. So excited for everybody to start telling you about that. And so the students will start getting music for that. We will have our end of year, or rather I'm going to just call it Summer Band 1, so Band Camp 1. And I believe that's the 25th and the 26th of May. It'll just be 2 short days. They'll come in, we'll showcase some playing, some marching. We've talked about before in previous meetings how that's going to be a time for us to really talk to those parents. There'll be a parent social, I believe, afterwards, even something with the band council, where we're getting everybody so that we can just be meeting for that first time as the 2024-2025 school band. Anything else? Banquet coming up. Great thing to leave for the end. Please, there's 66 tickets for dinner sold right now. So make sure to tell your family, tell your friends if they want to eat.
Since I sent that number out.
Exactly, and so we want that number to go out. We're expecting it to be around 150, and so we want to make sure that estimate is just for us to know how hard to push to remind you. So that's what we think we'll have about, and so I'll be bugging you. It's going to end tomorrow at midnight, and so you might get 3 or 4 texts tomorrow, and that's just me looking at a number and saying, like, I don't know if everybody heard. Still finding some errors. There was someone who entered their email as Yahoo instead of Hotmail 4 months ago and just realized today. And so I gave them a whole bunch of information. So just check your stuff in Charms. I promise you it's going to get easier. The new platforms that we are considering, forced to upgrade to or considering, are significantly easier. And I mean that like a lot, like significantly better about communication, all that. So those are great things to look forward to. It will either be called Cut Time or something else. Can't remember. Presto. It'll be called Presto, but it would be Presto or Cut Time. I believe that's everything. End of the year concert, of course, on May 16th. I didn't think it was necessary last year, and so I'll make the announcement to the parents this year. I'm saying, and of course I say it, and I know that there's always exceptions for whatever thing. No black. They're not allowed. We've worn black all year. I want this to be colorful. I want it to be fun. I described to the kids this morning, or maybe you guys, I can't even remember at this point, wedding on a beach. You look nice, but you want to be comfortable. So whatever that means to you, if it's sundresses, if it's maxi skirts, or whatever it is, we want it to be colorful. We want it to be a celebration at the end, and that dress code is the same for the band banquet as it is for that concert. Did I miss anything? Things that I may have missed putting on the calendar, things that we're used to doing, senior parents year after year, that we just want to bring up and make sure that we talk about. This is my last update for the year, so this is everything. Yes?
I do want to bring up for the band banquet, we need 2 more people to help us for ticketing.
On the day of?
That day,
Okay, so 2 more volunteers just to help ticket on the incoming way for those parents who are coming in. We have 1, and if you want to think about it, 2 right over here. To go over that schedule again, in case you don't get told, I believe doors are opening at 4:15. We are wanting to start serving at 4:45, and we'll kind of be serving in groups. We'll put this message out. We'll in grade level order, but before we start speaking. I know that there was concerns last year when some people went to the line too far away to hear. So we're going to try to get everybody served beforehand. Come in at your leisure, and then we'll start at 5:15 with the president opening address from our band council president, and then we'll get things rolling. I think that's the big fun one. And then a nice concert next Thursday, same time as always, 6 o'clock. Yes.
How long is that concert?
It'll be an average concert. I would say kids are going to be packing up by 6:45.
Okay.
So we will have on that. We will have a piece by the color guard, and we'll hear from the concert band and the wind ensemble.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, yeah. Our typical concert time. No changes.
And for the band banquet, we'll be here on Saturday from 1 to 3, setting up.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna ask.
That's perfect. Yes. So they do, when the banquet's actually happening, the students aren't doing things, right? It's their banquet. It's a celebration of the things they do. I shouldn't say it's just theirs. I want celebration of the parents as well and our organization. But they will come in, and we are giving a window for them to go and change. So students will, we are asking them to be here 1 to 3 just to help move the tables. It doesn't really get mopped over there. Last year we taught a lot of kids how to use a mop. And some of them taught each other. And now we mop the band hall about once a month. True story. So that'll happen, and then they'll be able to go home, change, give them about an hour and a half to change clothes, and we'll come on back. Thank you so much.
And any parents can come and help between 1 and 3
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, that's decorating, that's putting out the stuff, making the event. So anybody who's available, we would surely appreciate it. All right, thank you. Though, excellent. Anything others? Catch me. I fall a lot. What
We
an
should
apt
probably move
metaphor.
along anyway, just so we're not here too late.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a new board. Woohoo! All right, we have 41 votes, which is a lot.
Yeah, that's good.
So as president, we have Janice. Vice president, very surprisingly, right, Karen? Treasurer, we have Elizabeth. And secretary is Carla. So with that, we are going to move on, I think, to the other positions. And we do need
Some of them
to
may
discuss them a little
not be
bit.
as competitive after that, so.
I know, so let me keep going though. Okay. We're going to keep going. All right.
I'm not in charge anymore, so I guess.
No.
You still got 2 months. on
You
it.
still have 2 months of a lot of things. There is a lot of end of the year. There's like an audit, there's a go in the budget, there's transition. There's gonna be a lot of things for you still to do. Okay, so fundraising. We have one person who self-nominated via online, but I think they would like a little bit of discussion about what the fundraising position is, unless you guys did that.
We did send some info. Hopefully she got it on email and was able to look
Yeah.
at it.
Okay, so is there any more discussion needed on what kind of the fundraising position is? I wanna make sure
Danica might
people
be
know
interested.
before they.
Well, for the sake of time, I think what would be great is if you could email me, president@vvhsband.org, and let's set up a time and let's just talk about it. That is a position that has evolved over the years, and it could really be as much or as little as you want it to be. Because eventually what ends up happening is we tend to work as an entire board on the fundraising activity. So having somebody though as more of a point person and coordinating it, I think is what it would be about. But reach out and let's talk more about that.
So that was Danica Phillips, right?
Danica Phillips, the mother of Elijah Phillips, freshman euphonium player.
And she also did the fundraising for us at Tony Hawk.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much
She
for.
has that experience doing that.
Any other nominations, discussion?
I have nominated Nicole on mine,
Oh, and I just didn't get it. Nicole, would you accept the nomination?
because she did absolutely amazing for the Hawks Walking Run. She ran her butt off getting things done, even ending up in an emergency room. Thank God she's back. And we're so appreciative of everything that she did. Those swag bags were incredible.
They were.
Full-size items, that was crazy.
I appreciate it, but with regret and respect, I have to decline. I do have a senior at another school, and I've been elected at their school too.
Okay.
They know how valuable you are.
Yeah.
Any other nominations for fundraising?
Amanda? No? Just checking.
Okay.
Well, you can nominate her, she just decline
I
it.
think I didn't even have to write it down, I think. Okay. All right, so then we will move on to co-treasurer. Nasser, are you willing to do co-treasurer?
I would nominate myself for co-treasurer.
Okay. Any other nominations for co-treasurer? Sounds, all right. Moving on then. Hospitality, I would suggest that neither of you do hospitality.
Yes.
So we need a hospitality person. It is one of the jobs that kind of, it's always awesome to have a crew, a couple people, if possible. And I'm gonna stop talking to see if either of you wanna kind of talk about hospitality or have any ideas of nominations.
And
I'll tell you one thing, we've got a hard act to follow on Janice. She's the money person. She has down to a science getting food to people at $3 a person.
But she can share her secrets, right? So that's the idea here, is the knowledge eventually, and Janice isn't gone yet, so she is still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally happy to, work with you until you get the hang of it. Mentor, if you wanna take a stab at it, I will be there along the way.
If I, and if I,
Here to help serve.
Yeah.
yeah, and if I could, so, and Alyssa, either, if you want to talk about it, I think the hospitality chair works pretty closely with me. So I can either talk about my director side of that and some things that maybe, that happen, or if Janice, if you want to talk from the parent side, how you interacted with me or what you thought you were expected to do. Either or.
So basically, for going into the new year, marching season, football season, every event that we have, hospitality pretty much will set up and serve the kids, the students,
She said she
before
sent
they
you an
go
email.
off to
Danica.
their event, perform, or if it's a football game, or, so basically, I touch base with Mr. B, kind of get an idea of what his mindset is and what he'd like for them. And then I just try and kind of put together a menu, make lists of things, calculate prices. I did do a lot of cooking this last year, so, which, saved us money instead of using a lot of restaurants. But it's not required. You can figure out ways.
Yeah. Or facilitating finding people to cook. I think I've had that in the past.
Make a team and everybody.
Yeah, someone does the
Yeah.
noodles and the whatever and the
Exactly.
stuff.
And kids are always happy to see you. They
Yeah.
weren't as happy to see the props, but they were happy to see us.
They're always happy to come in and kiss their plates, so.
Yeah, the food, yeah. People
I
like.
really enjoyed it. I got to know all the kids.
Yeah, that was the good part about it.
and-
Get to meet all the kids.
They
And that
love
was
your
fun.
food. I have a very picky eater and she eats your food.
And
There she
I'm
is.
here.
And I have to say, we have the best kids. They're very thankful, they're very appreciative, they're very respectful.
Thank you, everybody says thank you, everybody says thank you.
So do we have any nominations, self-nominations or other nominations for hospitality? Either in the room or online? All right, then with that, I'm gonna move on. Keep thinking, we'll come back to hospitality at the end again.
Me too.
So it is a very important job. We will need somebody.
I was gonna just
Go ahead.
say, I think we do have a freshman parent who's coming in, Denise, right?
Yes.
Who may be interested in at least supporting and helping in the roles.
That's awesome. Do you want me to put your name on the screen, or would you prefer not to right now?
Maybe not as lead, but.
Not as lead.
Okay.
Okay.
That's why I was cut.
Yeah, okay.
I definitely could learn from someone.
Yeah.
We would definitely love to help. So, awesome. Okay, so then we have pit crew chief, and we have many pit crew, but we have the chief, that's kind of the one that's elected, and then all the helpers. So I don't know if Luciano, did you accept the nomination?
I guess I'm already there, so.
That's
what I planned on doing anyway.
I was like, it's a resounding yes, I guess. Okay, Juan, did you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Okay. And Rusty, did you know you were nominated, and or did you accept
I
it?
actually did not know, but I don't know. No, no. I do want to say I am honored that somebody picked my name, or chose me. I want to say thank you. I mean, I could put my name in there, but actually, I honestly think just for, unless there's somebody else going to want to put their name in too, but I think Luciano or Juan are really qualified for the position. I foresee the pit crew chief to be a person who actually has access to vehicles, to tools, to whatever kind of thing, just kind of thing. I would be cool if I had that access, but I would definitely like to be, I can always help. I'm always there to help. So.
And pit crew is one of those things that's year-long, and it takes kind of two of you, honestly, if not more.
And I think it's also fair that if Juan and Luciano, I mean, this is also a chance for you guys to speak to each other if one of you feels stronger about leading it,
Yeah.
right?
Either way.
Who wants the email address? That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
like
think
the
you
current
guys have-
arrangement, but whatever.
I'm good with the way it is right now.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess we would say, currently,
Chief Juan.
so Juan is
Okay.
chief. So I guess if you guys didn't accept your nomination, and then we would have that one, if we want to do it that way.
And then you would automatically be on the committee. Just, you're the co-chair, the pit crew show co-chair, so you're not off the hook, is what we're saying. Okay.
And we can make
Just-
infinite
just
emails.
making
We
sure
could just give
you're-
him an email forward, so he's just in the
Yeah.
loop, so.
Easily can get you an email if it makes you feel better.
Oh, did one?
Okay. All right, then we'll go with that. So we're gonna move on, and webmaster, we've got one lonely, and this one.
Tony. Tony.
Yeah, and there was an awesome comment that came in that I can't remember it now.
Good comment?
Well. It was positive, it was
Janice looks at it
positive.
and says, I didn't send that.
I didn't write it.
It was positive,
didn't
I
even
would
know.
say. So, Webmaster's just keeping our website up to date, and you've done a great job on it. And did you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Do we have anyone else that would like to self-nominate and/or shadow? Because you will be a senior
Mm.
parent this next year, so if
But
anyone has
This
some
guy
kind
will
of.
still have 3 more years, so. I think
Yes.
There's gonna be a pretty easy transition,
Okay.
unless somebody else wants to do it.
It's the more people, it's easier to learn from someone when they're here versus later. That's the only reason why I'm throwing that out. Okay, then with that, let me see if I can remember this one.
Anything else online for nominations?
Sorry, we'll try to wrap this up here.
We will move.
shortly.
Okay, and let's see who else did we have? Chaperone, we don't have a chaperone, and this one really is in charge of organizing the number, like you send out the sign-up sheets to make sure you have enough chaperones for each of the football games and the competitions and things like that. You also, I think, collect background checks. You were chaperone last year, right?
Mhm.
It's a good position. You do get to see the kids. You get to have a lot of bonding time with the kids, right?
You don't necessarily have to be a chaperone every time.
No.
Correct.
We're trying to recruit other
To
people.
to recruit the chaperones and to organize the clearance checks, that's the main job of the
Mhm.
chaperone.
Yep.
Yes,
Chair.
the chair. So it will be a committee. You always have to have multiple chaperones at every event, pretty much.
But it is one of the things, like, of the jobs that, like, if somebody doesn't do it, we can't operate. between
It's an important.
pit crew and chaperone are like, like we literally can't go places and put on a show without those two rules. So at some point,
Hospitality.
Huh? I mean, the kids can go hungry, but they literally can't get on the, they can't get on the bus.
Then neither the pit crew or chaperone are wanting to work with.
So I guess just we can move on, but knowing that it's open, that we would love someone to
Yeah.
chair that.
Okay, historian, did you accept the position or the nomination?
I do accept the nomination, but I also would love somebody to help me or co-do this, because it's a lot, it's constant, it like never stops. As far as social media goes, Instagram and Facebook, I'm a senior parent. I would really like to hand it over to somebody in the spring, if it's my position, and just work with somebody together with making like Canva little announcements or whatever you need. What else is out there besides Canva? I use Canva.
And it works
But
great.
I really would love help with it if I'm gonna do it again next year, so I do accept it.
Student help you with the social media?
I would prefer not.
Yeah. We are trying to keep a separation on that intentionally. We have discussed having a specific day, so a very regimented way for the students to interact with it. Having like a Friday like every Friday post, the band historian has that's their moment to submit a picture. But otherwise, it can get unprofessional in some ways. But
And I would love to see some more student stuff come in too.
Yep.
Cause I do follow a lot of band stuff, and they do, like, I don't know, a section will take over the camera and they'll film like what it is, like the day in band or something. I think those things would be really cool. But as far as like announcements and that type of stuff, I think the kids are too busy to manage it, honestly. So.
So right now, we're gonna go forward with Monica and the position nominated, and I think several of these things, Nasser, you'll probably do the follow-up email saying,
Yeah.
we would love co-chairs, people to shadow, any of those type of things. Okay. Uniforms, are you accepting the nomination this year?
That's not convincing.
Was that a yes? Was it a very quiet yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we do not have anyone nominated for freshman liaison. This is the one that not technically in the bylaws,
But we'll be soon.
but hopefully will be soon. It is helpful because, as people have said, coming in, band is a lot. It's a lot to try to understand, and so their job would be that point person of all, like, to field freshman parents' questions. So ideally, this is not a freshman. This is a sophomore, a junior, senior parent that kind of
The
has.
idea is an upperclassman friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any nominations for freshman liaison? Anything online?
nothing online yet.
Okay.
Tracy? What? Freshman content?
No, thank you.
You've gone through it twice.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you can be a pro.
Okay.
Do we have any
I
competitive?
do have a
So
position
we have
I
one
would
more.
like to, like, self-nominate myself for.
Hang on just a second, let me finish the last one that's on our list, and then let's jump to something
Okay.
else if we're gonna do, but let's finish up so then it's props, and I don't know if Mary is online, and I don't have her as accepting the position, or the nomination.
Has anybody spoken, or who nominated Mary?
We don't know.
Yeah, Mary Rogers, Kate's mom.
Anonymous nomination.
She does, well, yeah, I don't know if I'm calling people out on who they nominated. So that one I think we won't vote in right now, because I don't wanna vote someone in that didn't, accept it, but when we send out the follow-on email, we can still work to see if she will do it. Props, the good thing about props is it's only for marching season, and then you're done. The rest of the year you have off and you get to go play in other committees. So,
I nominate freshman.
Rusty, you would be a great props person.
There we go.
Yes? Will you accept it? Nice.
I think Mary and her husband both like to help with that. So
Okay.
I'd like to help Rusty.
Danny's pretty busy though. He's the pediatric neurologist. Usually it's the older sibling, but, Rusty, you will accept the nomination, so I don't know if we wanna vote that
Why
one
don't
in
we
now.
hold, because that one doesn't, we don't need that one right away. I think the only general board positions we need before summer camp is like hospitality.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another, and Rusty, I'm assuming that if Mary says she would also help, you would probably be okay with the code. Okay.
That's good.
Okay, all right, so everybody else, we only have one person on each of the positions, and so I propose we do not vote, like anonymously, we just kind of vote as a whole group.
Yeah, except by, what is it, acclamation? or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, so do you need me to scroll through again, or does everyone remember?
All in
Okay,
favor of
that's
this
what I
slate
need.
of candidates, say
Well,
aye.
we can-
Well,
I
oh,
think we
yeah,
have
yeah,
to-
yeah.
I think we have to do that one after, because that's not on the bylaws.
Well,
Yeah.
so-
She wants to
so the
nominate herself or
bylaws-
something.
The
Yeah.
bylaws we just voted in allows the president to make up ad hoc
Okay, and then you
committees
guys
if
figure that
needed.
one out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I would say that if it's something we do reoccurringly each year, then we may consider putting it in the bylaws. So we just voted in some leniency. So freshman liaison, we've been saying you're not real, guess what, you are.
Okay.
So that was part of the bylaws that we just voted on.
Okay.
But let's finish the official business, like, get the three things we have to do today.
Mhm.
Board, executive board, regular board, and bylaws. Let's get that done, and if there's any other business, if that way if people need to leave, they can.
Okay.
So, all in favor of that slate of candidates for the positions where there's a sole candidate?
Tracy, did you wanna?
But
He's
we're-
saying he wants to
we're-
do
we're
that
just
right
doing
after.
this- We're doing this
Putting me on
next.
the back burner for right now.
Yeah, I am, I'm sorry. We have to move along. So, all in favor of that slate of candidates, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Great. Okay, so, Tracy, what would you like to say?
Oh.
What?
Yeah,
Whispering in my ear.
that,
He's the party bus committee chair.
So, after I kind of organized the whole Durango trip and everything, I realized that we need a travel coordinator. Because it ends up falling in several different committees' laps, or in Mr. B's lap. As far as like booking buses, confirming buses, making sure we have a hotel in, each different thing. Instead of making it, the responsibility of Mr. B or the responsibility of the individual committees like hospitality or anybody else, we should have somebody that just books travel. Whether it be buses to Zia, buses to State, buses to Flagstaff, if we're going to Flagstaff next year. All the different things that we're gonna have, plus booking hotel rooms and coordinating that and working with hospitality to make sure that there's dinners ready for those or things like that. Just thought it would be. Breakfast at the hotel, yeah.
And-
Lunches on, the way home from somewhere, or dinner the night after State, or things like that. So,
I think it's a great idea. And if the board creates that position, is that something you'd be willing to fill?
yes.
Okay, all right.
That is the one thing I'm willing to do this
Okay,
year.
so I think what we'll probably do is have the 2 minutes of discussion we'll take first to say yes at our next meeting, and then that'll be your role.
And
That's
maybe
okay.
in the meantime, we write up that role.
Yeah,
For-
exactly.
So
for our
that we can
bylaws.
understand what it is. And did you see
Okay.
like the little 4 or 5 bullets on
On what they do.
Yeah.
on what they do? I think it would be helpful to know what.
And we can include that on our next,
The reason I wanted to bring it up tonight was because I think it's something that we need to start working on
Sooner
now.
or later.
Yeah,
Correct.
Monica and I have already talked about getting rooms for BOA.
Mhm.
We need to start doing that stuff now,
I
not in
believe
August, when it's a month
the-
away.
Right.
new bylaw, we don't need a meeting to create the
You
rules.
have the ability to create ad hoc as
Ad
needed.
hoc.
Yes.
Do it.
So we can do that offline now. So we can
Correct.
finish this meeting
I would-
today.
I would
Yeah.
Okay.
line out what it is, so that we have that documented, and also figure out a few logisticals, because I like when Mr. V uses the school's money versus ours for buses,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
some of those things. And,
So if you wouldn't mind starting an email chain with the board on that topic, then we'll sort that out in the next couple days.
Cool, alright.
Okay, we did all our business.
I'm super impressed you guys elected.
Thank you.
We have next proposed general meeting, early July.
Yes.
Because there are some things like hospitality and props and some of those things that you will need to move out on.
Specifically, there's a date, right?
Earlier than July 1.
It'd be the first Monday in July, which is, July 1. It doesn't have to be July 1, but that's currently where it's
So there's
scheduled.
no meeting in June then?
There won't be a general meeting in June. There will be a meeting just of the incoming and outgoing executive board.
Kind of transition.
And to have a budget proposal for
Okay.
next.
So you'll be there.
So I need motions.
Yeah, motion to close the meeting.
Well, before you do that, we have, a student, I think, that
Oh.
we should let our student representative talk.
Oh,
Yeah, was there
yes.
anything else, Jackie?
Sorry. Anything from the band council?
Hello. Thank you for your president of this year. I just want to say thank you. You all have been amazing in this journey. This is my last meeting, and
Thank you for everything the band council has done.
Yeah,
It's been
excellent,
amazing.
excellent job.
I just want to wish the incoming parents and the continuing parents good luck next year. I know you guys will do great. I love seeing your communication and how you guys work together. That's one of the things that I wanted to continue on, and hopefully our possible next president next year will continue to carry on.
Cool.
So thank you for a successful leadership, and I wish you all.
Awesome. All right, so thank you all for coming, and it'll keep you a little bit late, but I appreciate it. It's a big, important meeting. So with that, motion to close the meeting,
Motion to close.
and you have
Tracy.
multiple people to pick from. Thank you all.
Yep.
Have a great night.
Excellent.